What is going on, guys? So I want to talk about something that's a little different today, but it is going to be my two favorite flips that I've ever done. I'm going to post pictures in here so you guys can actually see the two things, and they're not both cars. One is actually a motorcycle, but I want to talk a little bit about who I am. I'm Weston Moore. I buy and sell things for profit. For money. So I find deals on Craigslist, or I find deals on OfferUp, or I find deals on Facebook Marketplace, and then I identify if it's a good deal, and then I sell it for a profit. I've been doing it for since I was 15, so I'm 23 now. What is that? 8 years. Yeah, I've been doing it for 8 years. But I obviously have found a passion. It hasn't faded out. I've always done it. I've always liked to do it, and I've done it with watches. I've done it with motorcycles. I've done it with boats, jet skis. I've done it with cars. But typically we focus on cars in the Flipping Wheels group chat. But I want to talk about my favorite two things that I've done to sell for profit. And the first one has to be my first dirt bike that I ever sold for a profit, or first anything that I ever sold for a profit. And I was 15 years old. So saying this, I want to give the backstory on this. I always liked dirt bikes. I always liked four wheelers. But I always wanted to make sure that anything I bought in life, that I did not lose money on it. And I think that's so important and so misunderstood in like the world we live in today, because a lot of people just expect to lose thousands of dollars on their motorcycle. They expect to finance it. They expect to buy it new, and it's going to appreciate in half in 3 months of owning it. And the whole point of me making this video is to help you guys understand why I do this and how I had just as much fun on this dirt bike that I bought as if I would have bought it brand new from the dealership. So I was 15 years old. I bought a 2003, I believe, Honda CR85. So if you guys don't know what that is, it is the two-stroke Honda race bike. I think about 13 to 15-year-olds maybe race 85 class. But it's a very fast bike. It's a very fun bike. I'm from Arkansas, so I have a lot of land to ride on. And I wanted something that was fast. I've always had that need for speed, if you say so, but I've always been good at understanding what is worth something, and when it's worth more than other times of the year, for example, like seasons. But so I'm 15 years old at the time. I'm going to my ex's pawn shop. They knew I was looking for a dirt bike, so they were kind of helping me find one. Of course, they have to make money off of it as well, because it's a pawn shop. It's their business too. They flip stuff as well. So I get a phone call, and it's from her dad, and she's like, I have this 2003 Honda CR85. Do you want it? I'll sell it to you for $800. This is back in like 2000 and what would that be? Well, 8 years ago today. I don't know exactly, but it was worth a lot more then than it is now. At this point, they still had depreciated almost completely, and they hit rock bottom to where they weren't going to depreciate anymore, and I understood that. So I told him I would do $600 instead of $800, and he, said, okay, I'll do that. So I came up there. It was in very rough shape. Here's a picture of it right here. After I had put a graphics kit on it, but it had no graphics kit. It had just red plastics. They were scratched up. I knew that if it ran good mechanically, then I could sell it for a profit, because I knew I could hide those scratches and scars and scuffs all over those plastics if I put a graphics kit over it. And since the fenders weren't bad, I didn't have to replace the fairings and the plastics, because that's more expensive actually than the graphics kit. So I get this bike home, I drive it, I spend, I think, $39 on this graphics kit, and I sell it for, almost double the money. I think I sold it for $1,100, and I had just $639 in it. And I guess maybe I put some gas in it, but I don't really count that, because if you wanted to just do this simply for the profit, you don't have to ride the bike. But I was able to do this at 15 years old, and understanding that I bought this right before summertime, so it wasn't quite a hot market yet. And then I sold it at the peak of summer, understanding that the demand was there and it was building up, that these bikes were starting to increase in value because, these dads are buying them for their kids, or these kids are wanting the bikes, and, they're willing to pay $400 more, $300 more, as opposed to if it was winter time where it's too cold to ride. So I capitalized on all those things and almost doubled my money at a very young age, and I was hooked after that. But that is a really, really cool story. I think, in my opinion, that just using $600 to turn into $1,100. I'm not using any Shopify method. I'm just using the old-fashioned like Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, and OfferUp to find these deals. negotiate down, and then capitalize on them. Although this one was at a pawn shop, so it's super old fashioned, I did sell it on Craigslist to a dad that was buying it for his son. And I still sold it, I think $200 cheaper than the cheapest one I could find in the Little Rock area. So I thought, he was still getting a good deal. I knew that it ran good. I wasn't selling anything that was sketchy. And, he was happy with it. And it was in the middle of the summer. And it probably didn't bother him to pay $300 more to see his son smile in the summertime. Whereas if he would have held off for another 6 months and bought one in the winter to save $300, it's not really worth it to him to get to see his son experience something like that. So I, was able to do that. That's really what got me hooked. And then the second one is, I don't know why I like it so much. I think it's because I almost doubled my money on it as well. But it was an extremely, extremely dirty 2007 Toyota RAV. Toyotas are very reliable. They're known for their reliability, but this thing was so dirty, and I was able to leverage that down. You can see a picture right here of how dirty it was before, and then let's see if I can do an after right there. So you can see how dirty it was, and just understanding that I was able to use that as leverage, understanding that I knew how to detail stuff from previous experience working at used car dealerships. They taught me all these crazy tips and tricks. I was able to buy this thing for $2,600 and then fix the front bumper and then resell it for $6,000. Making a good amount of money. I sold it. That one I think I sold through my dad's little car lot. So I had that advantage of not having to register that one. And in Arkansas, you had to wait 3 weeks, I think, to get the title back. So it would have put me on a delay. I still could have done it, but I wouldn't have had to pay sales tax because I paid less than $4,000 in Arkansas. But the only issue with registering it was it would take 3 weeks to get it back. So I sold it through my dad's car lot, which helped a lot. So basically I just funded it and he sold it for me. I made almost double my money. I think after I was in it at $3,200 and I sold it for $6,000. I almost made $3,000 off this car simply by just understanding what I was able to do with being able to clean the carpets, the seats, and only making sure that it ran correctly and the AC worked and everything mechanically worked properly. And I think that was so cool being able to do that. Although there's been bigger flips where I made more money, I think that one was cool because of how much of a makeover I was able to do. And at that time I didn't have that much capital, so almost doubling my money was so crazy. But I just wanted to talk about this because it's so important that if you understand what you're doing in this market or any market, anything that you do, you can make money on it. You can make money selling a piece of bubblegum. If you go to a school with a 99-cent pack of bubblegum, a little high school, and you sell them, I can almost bet you people are willing to pay 50 cents per piece of gum in class because they can't get it anywhere else and they're trapped in school till 3:30 p.m. And they know what you paid for it. You're not doing anything wrong, but you're just able to capitalize on it, understanding where you are, your location, seasons, things of that sort. And I think that's so cool. I just wanted to talk about this, make a short video for you guys. But again, if you have any questions about what we do, buying and reselling things for profit, click the first link down below. You can schedule a free call with me today, tomorrow, whenever you want to, or you can become a part of a private group where we find the best deals wherever you are located, and we help you identify if it's a good deal, if you can make money on it, or if it's too overpriced. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram, hit the second link down below. I promise you guys I'll answer all your questions. I'll message you back. And yeah, it's really that simple. So thank you guys again for watching. I wanted to share my two favorite flips, which is that 2003 Honda Sierra 85 and that 07 RAV4 Limited. It was a loaded out one. It was actually high mileage, but on Toyotas, people still pay a lot for Toyotas because they're known for that reputation and they're known for going to 300,000 miles. So understanding all those things, I was able to make, a grand total of around $3,700 off just two little items. And I only had less than $3,800 in both of them total. I think that's really cool. But again, this is what we do on a daily basis. If you want to learn more, you know what to do. Click the link down below and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.